Humankind cannot gain anything without first giving something in return. To obtain, something of equal value must be lost. This is alchemy's first law of equivalent exchange.
In those days, we really believed that to be the world's one and only truth.
But seriously, when we enter into any social contract, we're met with the obligation of equivalent exchange. Maybe not in a Full Metal Alchemist kind of way, but still. The technical definition of a social contract is a philosophical concept that describes the agreement between a government and its citizens, whereby citizens voluntarily sacrifice certain personal freedoms in return for government protection and access to public services and goods, ideally, at least, but all contracts are not created equal. Spoiler warning for life. Regardless, because of the laws of nature and the way that we have formed our society, these unwritten contracts bind us to social constructs. Money, fame, humiliation, and these constructs govern the way that we behave. So when you enter a contract for entertainment, you are giving up some sort of talent in return for fame and fortune. And in this made-up construct of the attention economy derived from the made-up construct of money, attention is another form of currency to be exchanged for something of value in the future. If I can build a large enough following, I become a living, breathing, walking billboard. And companies pay a lot of money for those. So with the decentralization of the entertainment economy, that is the shift from production companies and studios having control over what media gets produced to individual creators producing their own media, anyone who can gain enough attention essentially has the ability to generate wealth out of thin air. But don't be mistaken, that doesn't grant them immunity from our handy contract. There's still a hefty price to pay, and that price is your dignity. All reality shows inherently degrade participants in two major ways. For one, the invasion of privacy required grants audiences this enhanced level of entitlement over the personal lives of participants in the reality show. And consequently, the manufacturing of drama and lack of autonomy over the narratives that shape viewers' perception of them. These are the main clauses of this entertainment contract, but the severity of degradation varies, and it's in direct proportion to the amount of fame to be allocated. That variance is closely related to the type of reality show, and there's a huge range of them to choose from because, after all, reality shows do also exist to entertain. Technically. We watch competition and game shows in part for the talent. We like to see people overcome challenges, use their brains, their brains, their wit, whatever talent they have to overcome obstacles. But it's never a clean fight. You don't just have to outsmart someone or be stronger or outwit them. You have to deceive. You have to lie. You have to manipulate. And in this way, these people are further degraded. We are literally watching them compromise their morals, values, and humanity and fight to the death for money. That is degrading. When we watch lifestyle shows, we get to see these people who we idolize and look up to and the luxurious lives they live in a way that we would never have access to otherwise. Often the price for this luxury that makes us want to tune in the first place is the convolution of person and brand in a way that completely eliminates any right to privacy, decency, and respect that we afford to normal people. To have your entire life and identity become indistinguishable from a product or a brand is to concede any rights to your own humanity, at least in the eyes of the general public. Dating shows are a way to live vicariously through these beautiful single people and also collect data to apply to our own personal lives. But after a while, just watching hot people dating each other would get really boring. So dating shows always have to have some kind of twist. Love on the Spectrum shows us how people who are neurodivergent or differently abled navigate the difficulties of dating in a world that is not built to support them. The Bachelor shows us what it looks like for 20 women to fight over one man in the same house and compete for his love in real time. Crazy concept. Married at First Sight is the disaster and the mess that it sounds like. And Love is Blind is the insincere, pseudo-scientifical social experiment that it sounds like. Spoiler alert, love is not blind and it isn't supposed to be. Like Trinity said, I don't want nothing ugly around me, babe. So what's Love Island's gimmick? The Islanders.
That's the most I've done.
Okay, speaking for you, like, what do you think, like, I can improve on, like, right now, like, something that you want to see from me?
The fact that we feel so comfortable disrespecting and psychoanalyzing these people to a degree that's not necessarily standard across all dating shows is what makes the show so popular. And the reason that we feel so comfortable disrespecting them is because the show degrades them first. Let's go through the list. They only refer to each other as boys and girls, never men and women. They participate in humiliating challenges that serve no real purpose and don't really show up in any other kind of dating show or reality show in general. Like, there's no real reason for a dating show to have challenges like this. They're not physical, they're not mental, they're not for the sake of compatibility. And even when they're asking questions, they only serve to humiliate and invade these people's privacy and decency. This is all in addition to being treated like literal children. Also, the audience has this unique power to choose who wins the money, which gives them even more of a sense of entitlement over the participants. They're constantly putting islanders in these unique situations that are specifically created to humiliate them, especially the women. Aside from the challenges, Casa is a humiliation ritual in itself. It always has been. The purpose is, how much can these men play in your face and you go back to him? The terminology that they use all around is just degrading. It's always, you've been dumped for the island, no one chose you, you are now single and vulnerable. Like, the phrasing is always built specifically to embarrass. There's not really any other dating show that gives viewers the power to vote for the winner, and no other show has these humiliating challenges that really serve no other purpose but to degrade. And the flip side of that, no other show catapults this many participants into this level of fame and exposure. But Love Island is unique because its popularity has allowed the participants to gain a whole lot of followers really quickly. And not even just the winners, but whoever is interesting enough to captivate the audience. So these islanders come with nothing, and they leave with a cash prize or a huge boost in following at the very least. And if they can capture the attention of these followers effectively, they've just gained a whole lot of very valuable currency very quickly. When it comes to dating shows, the price that we talk about is inherent to the very premise of this type of show. Dating is a very social thing, but it's also something that's very private and intimate to us. We may talk to our friends and family about who we're dating, but they're not constantly monitoring our relationships. And we have the luxury of experiencing those awkward, embarrassing, or negative moments in private. That privilege is stripped away in the context of a dating show, and the vulnerability that is typically reserved for a person who has earned it is published for the whole world to see. This degradation and exposing of personal, intimate, and vulnerable moments enables viewers to project their own unprocessed emotions and experiences and form these heavily biased opinions and parasocial relationships. And that's a great thing for these networks because with the decentralization of entertainment, they've got to find their leverage somewhere. So they pay a whole lot of money and they come to really truly understand their audience. On the surface, we watch reality TV for the drama and the entertainment, but they understand that the fanatics, the people who will never grow tired of the juvenile drama and the low vibrational content, the ones who will be with them watching for life, they don't watch for entertainment. They watch to feel better about themselves. So putting these islanders through humiliation rituals serves two very important purposes. For the network, it serves as a test to see how much they're willing to give for fame. It's like a litmus test. How much of your dignity is for sale? In exchange for all of this fame and exposure and attention that I'm about to provide you, you have to prove to me that you're willing to degrade yourself however I say at my command. To portray these people with dignity empowers them to grow beyond the network. But if I make you famous while simultaneously tarnishing your reputation to the point that the entire world feels comfortable disrespecting you, you become bound to me, reliant on my resources. Unless you are the exception, and we see that she hasn't looked back. For the audience, if we know that people watch reality TV to feel better about themselves and not worse, we've got to find out how we can knock these hot, young, single people down a few pegs. Because in this day and age, we can see the hottest person ever, anywhere, anytime. We're not watching for that. So how do we extract value from this valueless premise? The answer is humiliation. These people don't necessarily have talents they can exploit. Beauty isn't novel anymore, and the drama really isn't that interesting. So the value extraction is the degradation and humiliation of conventionally attractive people and the discourse that it creates. Love Island is only as popular as it is because of the way people talk about it. Plenty of people would still watch Survivor or The Kardashians or Love is Blind if there was no commentary on it. But if the tweets and the TikToks about Love Island disappears, so do the views. And if the degradation disappears, so does the space and the very inspiration for that discourse. You have to remember, people only started watching Love Island USA 2 years ago, and that's mainly because of the way people talked about it online. For example, if I were to disrespect my own mother in front of you, a person with less integrity would be inclined to do the same. That doesn't mean my mother is deserving of disrespect or mistreatment, but because I've set the standard so low for how she should be or is allowed to be treated, a person with no integrity would take that opportunity to project onto my mother and treat her with the disrespect that already exists and is festering within them. I definitely do not condone the hate or bullying of strangers that we literally do not know, and I truly believe that that in itself is a mental illness. But so many young people are eager to sign social contracts without reading the fine print. You know how they say there's no such thing as a free lunch on Wall Street? If the app is free, you're the product. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you ever find yourself on the fast track to fame and fortune, the degradation of your dignity will be expedited accordingly. This is my Love Island outfit, by the way. I couldn't get up here in a literal bathing suit. That would be crazy, so this is my Love Island outfit for y'all.